Well, folks, welcome back to the show. It is week 12 of the NFL season. A little bit of a format tweak this week, folks. We're going to go back and, we're going to do a lot of the week 11 stuff. We're going to spend more time focused on the future and what's coming up this week in week 12. It's Thursday, November 20th. Josh Morris, he's back on the show. It's the Terranadome. It's all new, and it starts right now. The first interception led to a field goal, and the second one led to a touchdown. You lost by 3. That's why you don't turn the ball over. We see it every week from multiple teams. It happens all the time, Patriots. Yeah, Pats +8, Pats money line. Book it, baby. Buffalo's going down.
No.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Respect the flying Elvis. Buffalo's going down. Denver money line. I like Denver money line too. I like Denver money line too. I think this is the week for Philly. Denver is better than that 2-2 record for sure. It is. That's gonna be a low-scoring game over there in Philly. I think I would hammer the under on that game too.
Known as fair and square throughout my years, so I growl at the living foul. Black to the bone, my home is your home.
Well, welcome to Terranadome. Terranadome, and it starts right now. He says he's always ready, folks. Welcome back to the show. It's the Terranadome. I've been pretty consistent about the Thursday thing for a while, haven't I? Yeah, give me a golf clap for that one. Oh, thanks. Josh Morris is on the show again, by the way.
I'm here. I
here.
am always ready.
He's always ready. Rarely on time, but always ready. So
Always ready, though.
always ready. So he's back. He's got his swag on. 2 pieces of swag there. I've got 2 of my own.
This is OG too, by the way. This isn't, like remade or like the ones they're selling now. This is 1980s golden years shit.
All right, so we've already used up 1 swear on the show. Remember, I can only swear
I
twice
know.
per episode.
I never really get to use them. So
Yeah, well, you're not supposed to use them. You're supposed to be the responsible one. So, we've already screwed that up. But I could tell that was an actual old school jacket. I'm not sure. What did your dad give that to you?
No, actually, my uncle's like best friend was like just a collector. He just like collected like vintage stuff, and he knew I was a huge Niners fan. He just gave it to me.
Well, that's nice of him.
Yeah, I was like, this is incredible. Thank you.
Incredible gift, incredible stuff, incredible banter off the top of the show, folks. We're gonna do it a little bit different this week. Now I've got Dave out there who's critiquing me a little bit, and that's okay. Dave,
Bears fan, Dave?
To a couple. What?
Bears fan, Dave?
Bears fan, Dave. No. He's no.
No.
No. My Bears fan is DJ. He listens too, though. Shout out to DJ. Thanks for listening, bud. But
The Bears are playing well.
they are. We will get to that in the show. But anyway, a little bit less on the recap stuff from the week before, folks. We're gonna give you more content for the week that's coming up because that's more current, right? So instead of doing 6-pack of pick'ems, now we're doing every single game every single week, and we're doing it by the spreads. And I will keep track of it because I'm sure that Josh would like to know who's better head to head at making picks. So that's what we're gonna do. Plus, it's fun. We've done that in the past with the playoffs. So anyway, now that I've killed about 5 minutes on preamble, let's get into it. Week 11 action, folks. Of course, it started up here in New England on Thursday Night Football. Not much to be said with this one, Josh. New England beats the Jets 27-14. The Pats allowed an opening drive touchdown for the 3rd time in their last 4 games in this one, and then they proceeded to dominate the game. The Jets don't have a quarterback, as we all know. Justin Fields benched after this game in favor of Tyrod Taylor. Did you know Tyrod Taylor is 36 years old? And I think he's definitely a better passer or thrower of the football than Fields, but he also is so fragile that a trainer cracked his rib giving him a massage a few years ago. The Jets don't have a quarterback. And if you don't have a quarterback, you're not going to win in this league. And the Jets had won 2 in a row coming into this game before their bye week. But they didn't look like they belonged on the same field after that first drive of the game.
No. And I mean, I think whether you're a Pats fan or just a fan of football, you didn't expect them to really keep it close at all. That's why the spread was 13.
The spread was 13, and of course it was a push. Thanks a lot, Jets. It was a push. So 27-14 final. Patriots go to 9-2. Jets drop to 2-8. Drakey May, we're already saying that. Apparently there's a new nickname for Drake May, and it's Drake May. I don't get it. Do you get it? Because I don't get it.
I don't get it at all.
I don't get it. It's just like that 6-7 crap. Get that 6-7 crap out of here. I don't know what that is.
It's nothing. That's the point. Just don't
But
even
it's nothing, right? I'm
go
too
right
old.
over it.
I feel like Felger at this point. Like it's like I'm getting old. Like
Oh,
I'm not hip to the jive anymore. Um anyway, 281 yards passing and a touchdown for Drakey. 71.9% completion percentage, and he leads the league in passing yards as well at 2,836. Drake May leading the NFL in passing yards. Surprising because he's still never thrown for 300 yards in a game in his career. Fun fact. Which is that will not last, right? But it's odd that he's gotten this far in and hasn't thrown for 300. He's been very close this year. He was 287 like in I want to say week 2. But anyway, Travion and the Hendersons, 62 yards on the ground, 31 through the air, but did have all 3 Patriots touchdowns. He's looking really good. Granted, it was without Ramondre Stevenson. Stevenson should be back this week. And Stephon Diggs, 9 catches for 105 yards. I have a question down here at the bottom. Do the Jets actually have a good coach? But once again, no talent.
I mean, I think it's unfair to judge him. They went total sell mode. They got rid of Quinnen Williams. They got rid of Sauce Gardner. So now their defense has got holes all over it. I think it's really hard to judge any coach in the first year.
Except Gerard Mayo. Sorry,
well, he was set up to fail, but
he was, but he also was not ready.
I don't know if any first-time head coach is truly ready. You know what I mean? Like, I think you have to learn a lot that you don't really realize goes into coaching until you are a head coach. You know what I mean?
Ben Johnson 7-3.
Huh?
Ben Johnson 7-3. He's first-time head coach.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm sure he's still learning things as he goes. And I think, I don't know how you feel, but again, I think you and I might look at Chicago and still not be completely sold on the goods yet.
No.
So,
Nope.
I think it's not fair to judge Glenn because I mean, obviously, you look at the two situations. Ben Johnson was going into a much better situation.
Oh, I wasn't making a comparison, and I actually do think that Glenn's a good coach. That's kind of what I was hinting at. I do think he's going to be a good head coach. I don't know if it'll be with the Jets or with somebody else, but
I agree. I think he needs a quarterback, and now I don't know if he picked Justin Fields. Like I don't know if he was involved in that decision.
Doubt it.
And if he was, he should probably take some flack for that because it was a terrible decision. There were much better free agents out there.
Sam Darnold.
Yeah, right. Like, he probably would have told them to pound sand. Who knows?
Probably.
But again, decision making, and is that Woody Johnson? I mean, everyone agrees he's the worst owner in football. So, I don't know. I think it's an organizational thing, and I feel bad for Glenn because I don't know if he's ever gonna get a chance there to truly show what he can do.
Yep, and you definitely won't get it with Justin Fields, who had 116 yards passing and 67 yards on the ground and a touchdown of each. But still, not good. Brees Hall can't do anything because of this stuff. And their leading receiver was John Mechie, who you probably didn't even start in your little dynasty league there. Anyway, fun fact, when I made these notes yesterday for this game, I always do the up next for both teams, right? So Patriots are at Cincinnati on Sunday at 1 o'clock. Yesterday, that line was 9 points. Today, it's down to 7. And I'm going to tell you why. Joe Burrow practiced in full yesterday. Joe Burrow just might play this week. It looks like he's going to play this week. It's being downplayed. I don't want to say anything, but I hope Joe Burrow plays this week, even against my team, because it would be much more interesting. Although, of course, I love Joe Flacco. So, Jets are at Baltimore Sunday at 1 o'clock. They are 13.5-point dogs in that game. There are 3 huge spreads this week, and that's the first one of them. So we will get to that later. In the meantime, let's do another overseas bullcrap 9:30 a.m. game on a Sunday. Josh, you ready? Let's do more of this crap. 3-7 Washington versus 3-7 Miami.
Oof. Doesn't that just get the fans going?
It gets the people going. No one knows what it means, but
we definitely can't say that song.
No, can't do that. No, but it's provocative.
Exactly.
Yeah, there we go. I found it. Anyway, an overtime game between this crap fest. 13-13 going into overtime. It was a boring slot fest. 6-6 at halftime. Washington touchdown early in the third made it 13-6. Miami had a nice touchdown drive early in the fourth. I was watching the game at that point. Both teams had a chance to win in regulation, but got stuffed on the goal line late in the fourth. And then on the first play of scrimmage from overtime, Marcus Mariota shows why he's Marcus Mariota, throws an interception, hands Miami the win. They get it on Washington's 33. A-Chain runs it 3 times for 22 yards. Miami kicked the game-winning field goal on first down. 29-yarders, good, 16-13. Dolphins. Hey, believe it or not, Miami has won 3 out of their last 4.
I was going to say, don't look now. They're coming.
They just might sneak their way in.
No.
And all without Tyreek Hill as well. Tua turned to go.
And they traded their best defensive player in Jalen Phillips. So.
Right, who's making a big difference for the Eagles right now.
Very big.
Tua turned the ball over, did not turn the ball over in this one, but he only had 171 yards and no touchdowns. A-Chain, 120 on the ground, 5 catch for 45 through the air. Ollie Gordon very nicely sniped his touchdown on the ground. Jalen Waddle, 3 catch for 52. Marcus Mariota, making a nice career for himself as a backup, but truly the former number 1 overall pick is a backup. 213 yards, a touchdown, a pick, 49 rushing yards, like 44 of them were on one play. Deebo Samuel, a little bit of a career resurgence on a losing crap bag team. 7 catch for 74 yards and a touchdown. And Chris Rodriguez led the backfield for the Commanders, who have given up on Bill.
I was going to say, what happened to Bill? He had so much fanfare and hype.
He did, but this is what happens when you have preseason hype in fantasy football. It happens all the time. I've seen a lot of their action. I'm not going to say their whole games, but, when you watch Red Zone, you get to see a good amount of things. Bill is not a good between the tackles runner. That's really all there is to it. Plus, he's got a little bit of the dropsies. He fumbles a bit. So, obviously, both these teams are on a bye next week. Anything to take away from this game? Pretty big fall for the Commanders, right? But how can you really blame it on Quinn, the coach, or anything else when your quarterback just hasn't been healthy and your top receiver hasn't been healthy pretty much all year?
Yeah, no. I mean, and even when Daniels was out there, I mean, he didn't look otherworldly like he was last year either. So, I mean, I think I said it at the beginning of the year. I expected a big drop off from them. I just, and that was more because of the sophomore slump. But when you have a season like you did last year out of nowhere, well, now your schedule gets harder, right? Because last year they were last, right? They had a weaker schedule, so now you're facing teams that are a little better. The NFL really does kind of pride itself on parity for the most part, where you're getting different teams every year that are coming in and out. Besides the Chiefs, but truly though. So that's what happens though. Like, just like, you see the Niners at 7-4 right now, not to, but that's based mostly on the fact that they're facing bad teams. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think they're a true playoff contender. But when you play bad teams, and if you beat those bad teams, well, you can kind of sneak in with the good ones.
Yeah, that's usually how it works. There's usually a few pretenders that make it in every year. We're about to talk about one of them right now at this next game here. But yeah, both teams on a bye. Miami improves to 4-7. I didn't think they'd be 4-7 4 weeks ago. So, yeah, good for them, I guess. Anyway, it's an NFC South battle up next. And it's the Carolina Panthers from Kakalaki going to Atlanta in the ATL. This actually ended up being a good game. It didn't look like it was going to be good for a while, and then all of a sudden the third and the fourth quarter happened, and wow. Carolina in overtime, 30-27. Bryce Young throws for 448 yards. Riddle me
Most
that.
Franchise history.
Against what had been a very good pass defense for the Falcons, especially lately. Like, where the hell did this come from?
I believe they have the second most sacks in the NFL.
I know they've got 16 in their last 3 games after this game. They got Young 5 times in this one. They got Drake 6 times against the Patriots. And I think that would mean that they would have gotten 5 the game in between as well. So, the big storyline in this one, though, folks, bruised Penix, Michael Penix Jr., done for the year. Big knee injury. It's the 3rd time he's had an ACL.
I was about to say, like, are we worried about his future? This is 3 in
7 years. Yeah.
7 years? Like,
yes. That's no good. You don't usually hear of people having torn both their ACLs and then multiple times on one of them. Like, that's pretty unprecedented. So, best wishes to the kid in his recovery because I do think that there's talent and there might be a future in there for him, like, talent wise, but man, that's not good. Um, Carolina Panthers roll up 486 yards of offense. They were a bottom six offense coming into this game. They're now 6-5. Taturia McMillan breakout game, 130 yards on 8 catches and 2 touchdowns. Kirk Cousins came in relief of the injured Penix and went 6-14 for 48 yards. Oh yeah, they lost Drake London in this game too. Sprained PCL week to week. Carolina now has a bottom 5 scoring offense that somehow went down despite the 30 points. A minus 42 point differential and a winning record. They have the 13th rate scoring defense. Atlanta has really underwhelmed. I've got 2 questions for you at the end here. Atlanta's really underwhelmed on expectations this year. I thought they were a borderline playoff team this year, if not a playoff team this year. I thought they could win that division. Does your second cousin, Raheem Morris, does he get in the boot before the season's over? I know you guys are cousins, but objectively, do you think he might get the boot before the season's over?
Absolutely. He's done.
Before the season's over.
Oh, before?
I guess it's elementary at that point, right?
Does Kirk Cousins bomb? If Kirk Cousins bombs, then yes.
Yeah, right. I just think the Kirky boy might not have any strength left in that throwing arm,
Well, we'll see. But I mean, if they win a game here or there, no, he'll probably survive till the end of the year.
Yeah, but it's only till the end of the year. Now, Josh, the Panthers, they're a playoff team right now at 6-5, but their remaining schedule is at San Francisco, the Rams at home. You have a bye. Then you go to New Orleans, and you've already lost to New Orleans. Tampa Bay, Seattle, at Tampa Bay. Predict the final record.
That's got to be the hardest strength of schedule left.
It's got to be one of them, right? So they're 6-5 right now. They have those 6 games.
I could honestly see them going 1-5.
Yeah, I could see it too. I'm going to say 2-4.
I don't see them beating an NFC West team.
Probably not, no. But I think they get Tampa once and they'll get New Orleans. You're probably right. They're going to end up 7-10. But anyway, okay. So Carolina, we already mentioned, they are at San Francisco on Monday Night Football. They are 7-point dogs in that game, only 7 points. And believe it or not, Atlanta, actually it makes sense as they lost to them. They're going to New Orleans. They're 2-point dogs. That game is 4:25 on Sunday. That's gross.
That is gross.
That's gross. Okay, what's another gross game right here we're going to go to next, back in Week 11 on the Terranadome? The LA Chargers, no show in Jacksonville.
Absolutely. A stinker.
They're nothing short of rotten. 35-6 Jacksonville over the Chargers. I don't think many people saw that one coming.
No, honestly, their bye couldn't come at a better time after a game like that.
Probably not. The Chargers dropped to 7-4. Jacksonville improves to 6-4, but simply put, the Chargers could not stop the rock. This team, very inconsistent, very similar to last year, I think. Maybe even more inconsistent than last year.
I would say more.
Yeah, they're not having their best 2 offensive linemen is killing them. They didn't address that depth issue at the trade deadline. It's going to continue to haunt them. They had just 135 yards of total offense. They only had the ball for 22 minutes and 5 seconds. You can't win like that. Jacksonville ran it 47 times in this game because they knew they could. They only threw it.
I mean, when you see a stat like that, that is the other team telling you, we don't respect you.
Yeah, it's like F you. We know you can't stop it. We're just going to keep running it down your throat. We know you can't stop us. Because you never see that kind of disparity, especially not in today's game.
I was going to say, especially today.
40, 50 years ago, sure. Not in today's game. You never see that. Except that one time where Mac Jones went up to Buffalo and Bill said, nah, you're not going to throw the ball. And then he acted like a little bitch after. Yeah, 3 times is how many times. I've brought it up many times on this show because that's one of my favorite Patriots wins. Although, in fairness, that was kind of the one that doomed us for a few years there. But anyway, Herbert had 81 yards passing and an interception. He was replaced by Trey Lance, your boy, in the 4th quarter. But Herbert apparently is fine for Week 12. Trevor Lawrence, a mediocre line as usual. But again, they only asked him to throw it 22 times. 14 out of 22, 153, a touchdown, a pick. Travis Etienne, 19 carries, 73 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And Byshel Tootin, 15 carries, 74 yards, and a touchdown. So what do we make of these 2 teams? I know you're still high on the Chargers, but it looks like another 10-7 season to me and another wild card weekend 1 and done to me. And Jacksonville feels kind of the same way.
if they get in. I think losing Joe Alt was huge. I kind of when he went down, I was kind of like, oof, that's probably it for their offense. Their defense had been playing pretty well, um,
They were on the
but
field the whole game.
yeah. So it's tough to extrapolate from that, but their defense has been pretty good. But if you can't block in the NFL, I don't care how good your quarterback is, you just can't win.
Yeah, I watched it happen last year all year. So, um, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. I think you summed it up nicely. And it's if Jacksonville gets in, they're not winning that division with the way the Colts are playing. But I think a wild card's very much on the table for them. They're at 6-4. They will travel to Arizona, and that's an interesting spot to me for betting purposes. They're 2.5 point favorites Sunday at 4:05, and like you said, the Chargers bye week couldn't come at a better time. They are on the bye at 7-4. We go now to another 7-win team. It's the Chicago Bears. The Chicago Bears, who I checked this. I checked my notes in the preseason, and I had Chicago at 8-9. I think you had them even worse.
I did.
So this has been quite. And listen, they're pulling a lot of these games out of their ass. They definitely are, but they are winning them. They're winning one possession games consistently. So there is something to be said about that. You're still riding by the seat of your pants and playing with fire, but all those cliches. Chicago 19, Minnesota 17. They appeared to be in control for the entire game to me, from what I was seeing. Up 16-3 through three quarters because J.J. McCarthy looked like dog crap again. Early fourth quarter, touchdown by Jordan Mason pulls Minnesota within 16-10 with 12:33 to go. Chicago still looks in control until they punt it back to Minnesota with 3:15 to play. And then McCarthy pulls the rabbit out of his ass. He goes 6 of 9 for 76 yards on an 85-yard touchdown drive. He hits Jordan Addison for a 15-yard score. And suddenly Minnesota's got the lead. And I'm sure you were watching Red Zone at this point since the Niners played later. 17-16, only 50 seconds left. How the kid's going to do this again, play like crap all game and then win? No. Chicago still had all three timeouts. The kickoff coverage was blown by Minnesota. Duvernay returns it to the 40-yard line, a 56-yard return, automatically in field goal range. They move it another 9 yards, 48-yard attempt by Carlos Santos is good. The call on the game call by the play-by-play guy was pretty ridiculous for that one. But maybe it's because he was sitting next to Brady in the booth. I don't know. Chicago escapes 19-17. Josh, I had Minnesota at 10-7 before the season started, just because we thought that roster was great. And Chicago at 8-9, and it looks like the exact opposite is going to happen. Minnesota's already got 6 losses, 4-6 for the Vikings here.
Honestly, it shows that you can't win in the NFL without a quarterback.
Time and time again, we see it. To your point, J.J. McCarthy went 16 of 32 for 150 yards, a touchdown, and 2 picks. I've got more J.J. McCarthy stats. McCarthy in 5 starts is completing 52.9% of his passes.
That's got to be worse than the NFL, right?
That is by far the worst in the NFL among starters, even worse than Justin Fields. He's averaging 6.0 yards per, it should be yards per attempt, not yards per completion. Yards per attempt, which is very bad. 168 pass yards per game, 6 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, and 4 lost fumbles. So for every touchdown that he's generated, he's created 2 more turnovers.
It's
impossible to win that way. It's just impossible to win that way. Caleb Williams didn't have to play well in this game for whatever reason because, well, just it was kind of a crap bad game, I guess. But 193 scoreless yards, no turnovers for Williams. He also went 16-32, far from his best day.
I was going to say, he's still been pretty inconsistent this year.
Yes, he has. He's flashed at times, but there have been a few lines like that one this year for Caleb Williams, who I do think has talent. I do, honestly. I didn't really think that last year, but like he does. He'll still make a boneheaded play now and then, but he's cleaned it up a lot. That probably has something to do with a really good offensive head coach that he's got now.
Yeah, instead of the defensive-minded coach in Eberflus.
Yeah, and who knows how much of a mind Eberflus really had, because now Eberflus is in Dallas, and they have the second worst defense in the league. Anyway, maybe they shouldn't trade away one of the best pass rushers in football, like 3 days before the season starts, whatever. The Bears are 7-3 for the first time since 2018. Do we think they can win a playoff game? That's the question. The question. You say no.
Not in the NFC, so that they could win that division, right? They're first in that division right now.
Yes, they are. Yep.
All right, so if they're first in that division,
They're the 3 seed.
I
Three
was going
seed
to say they're going to be the 3 seed.
right now.
So you're facing the 6 seed, which
Yeah.
could be the Niners, the Seahawks, the
Yeah.
Rams. I
Yeah.
don't see them beating any of those teams.
Yeah. The NFC is super loaded this year. Really, I feel like anybody could come out of the NFC as a Super Bowl contender.
Yeah, no,
Even
I mean I wouldn't say I would say the Rams or the Seahawks. Those would probably be the two, in my opinion, strongest teams in the
You're
NFC.
probably right. And that's going to be advantage Rams every time for me because you've got a Super Bowl winning head coach and a Super Bowl winning quarterback versus a new head coach and a quarterback that pisses down his leg. And I love Big D Sam Darnold, but he pisses down his leg in every big spot. He did it again last Sunday. We'll talk about that in a little bit. In the meantime,
4 times.
yeah, four times throwing it to the other team. We'll talk about it. Chicago will host the Steelers Sunday at 1 o'clock in Week 12. Chicago's 2.5 point favorites in that one, and Minnesota 6.5 point road dogs at Green Bay Sunday at 1 o'clock. Speaking of Green Bay, we go now to the Meadowlands where Green Bay took on Jameis Winston and the New York Giants. And boy, I thought I had it right. It was a spot where they're changing the quarterback. They're bringing in an interim head coach. They're going to beat this mediocre ass Packers team.
It looked like they were gonna.
It did. They actually took the lead with 7:22 to go in this game. The Giants did come out with an opening drive touchdown. They were pretty much stifled most of the rest of the way. They briefly retake the lead with 7:22 to go, 20-19. But the Packers respond immediately. A Jordan Love 17-yard touchdown pass to Christian Watson. 3 minutes later, sealed it for Green Bay. It was a beautiful pass, too. Really nice catch in the end zone by Watson. 2-pointer good. 27-20 the final. The Packers managed to push at -7. Winston didn't play as well as I thought he would, probably because they don't really have much to throw to. 201 yards for Winston and an interception and a rushing touchdown and a lost fumble. Both turnovers came late in the fourth. Neither of them
The
led.
enigma that is Jameis
That
Winston.
is a Jameis Winston game in a nutshell, except maybe with less passing yards. Tyrone Tracy had 88 on the ground and 51 through the air. Devin Singletary, 16 carries, 44 yards. That's gross, but he had 2 touchdowns. Headline in this game, Josh Jacobs leaves the game with a knee contusion. He did not return. Only 7 carries for 40 yards. Supposedly, if he misses time, it would only be 1 game. We'll see. In his stead, Emmanuel Wilson came in 11 carries, 40 yards, and a touchdown. Jordan Love left this game briefly, but came back 13 out of 24, 174 and 2 touchdowns. What do we make of the Packers?
I don't know what to make of them.
Exactly. No idea.
Oh, they are a puzzle. I really have no idea what is going on because you'll have a week where somehow you score 40 points against Dallas for a tie, and then you score 13 at home against Carolina. And
Yeah, don't forget the game against Cleveland early in the year too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I don't care how good, those defenses are. If you're a better team, you're still going to put up some points, man. You scored what? 7 against the Eagles on Monday night a couple weeks ago, last week or whatever it was.
Yeah, last week.
It's just so, I don't know. It's so hard to be like, yeah, I can. It's more, do you have faith in them? And I don't. I don't have any faith that they're going to do anything if they make it to the playoffs or whether they make the playoffs. I have no faith in anything that could come next.
That division is kind of a huge toss up right now. So you got Chicago at 7-3, Packers 6-3-1, and 1, and the Lions that we'll talk about later at 6-4. I mean, you don't know. You don't. First of all, I don't believe in any 3 of those teams this year. But one of them's going to win that division, and another one of them's going to be a wild card, right? So I don't know. Anyway, Green Bay is a 6.5 point favorite, as we just mentioned, against Minnesota, 4-6, against 6-3-1 Sunday at 1. And the Giants will go to Detroit and what should be a pissed off Lions team, but I don't know. 10.5 point dogs on Sunday at 1 o'clock. That's another big spread. We will talk about that a bit later. Let's go to the most boring game of the week. Well, actually, it might be the second most boring game of the week, but for our sakes, it's probably the most boring game of the week. We're talking Houston at Tennessee. Houston at Tennessee. It was so boring, and I saw plenty of it from Red Zone because they kept getting into the red zone and not doing anything, especially the Texans. So boring, it's not getting a recap. I picked Tennessee to win this game.
I know you did, but you did say you hedged it by saying Cam Ward needed to score 20 points.
Well, I guess he only needed to score 17, but that was a nice little cute way of me not committing. I've only been doing that my whole life. Anyway, um, Houston kicking field goal after field goal after field goal. I'm reminded that Tennessee has zero offensively, and whatever they did maybe have with Calvin Ridley coming back, well, he breaks his fibula in this game. He's out for the rest of the season. It's odd that that guy can't stay healthy after he missed an entire year for gambling. It's odd. I don't know. It's weird. I mean, we both gamble. I mean, I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with it. It's just odd that that happened. Tennessee did tie it up 13-13 with only 135 to go, but Houston would drive it right back down the field. Davis Mills. Is he 2-0 or 3-0? 2-0. 3-0? Maybe
Well, no, technically 2-0, and he lost right when he came in for Denver.
Yeah, maybe they should
Technically, that's Stroud's loss, though.
maybe they should just stick with him. They get a 35-yard field goal as time expires. Houston escapes Nashville 16-13. Houston now 5-5 after starting 0-3. And Tennessee falls to 1-9. They are in the driver's seat for the number one overall pick in next year's draft. Like I said, Houston's won 5 out of their last 7. They're 2-0 without CJ Stroud. They have the number one defense in the NFL. Stroud's also out tonight against the Bills. But Houston's schedule, let me mind you, gets real in a hurry. It's Buffalo, then it's at Indianapolis and at Kansas City the next 3 weeks. Home for Arizona and Vegas, then it's at the Chargers, and they get the Colts the last week of the season.
Damn.
What is Houston going to do with those last 6 games? 7 games. I think they end up 8-9. 8-9 feels about right for Houston.
You think they go 500 there?
Well, technically 3-4. They should beat Arizona and Vegas. I think they can beat the Chargers as constituted. It's gross. That'll be a gross game.
Yeah, I was going to say that. I can see that being an absolutely disgusting game.
Gross. Did they not beat the Chargers in the playoffs last year?
No, they lost to Baltimore, didn't they?
Houston lost to Kansas City, I thought.
Oh, that was wild card weekend.
Tank Dell. Yeah. They beat the Chargers, I think, right?
Oh, maybe. So that was divisional week that they played.
Yeah, they won a game and played. They lost in Kansas City. That was where Tank Dell completely exploded his entire left leg or whatever.
Yeah, we watched that game.
Yeah, you were here?
Yeah. Because what's it called? Will Anderson got called for that awful
yes
in the passer.
That's right. Yeah, because you can't breathe on
yelling at the TV.
Can't breathe at Mahomes. Yeah, you're right. There are times where I yell at the TV. I try not to, but I probably had money on the game or something.
We had money on the game.
Never happened before. Houston will face Buffalo tonight, as mentioned. Buffalo 6-point favorites on Thursday Night Football, and the Tennessee Titans will host the Seattle Seahawks. They are a home 13.5-point dog at home in the NFL. You don't see that very often, folks. I'll take Tennessee to cover that one all day. We can talk about that later. Yeah, he says no. We'll talk about it later. Can you hurry up? I'm not talking to Josh. This idiot. Every time I try to record something, I'm going to go take a dump in a box 5 feet away from you. Every single time. Thank you. He's got some schmutz on at the top of his head, too. I'm not getting it off. All right. We're actually moving through week 1. Not as fast as I want to, folks, but that's okay. It's probably my own fault. It's the Terranadome. We've got a little blowout for you here. So we'll try to move through this one quickly. The Pittsburgh Steelers, it was a game for 3 quarters, early into the third quarter, but the Steelers end up beating the Bengals pretty bad, 34-12. I thought it might be closer, just like the Thursday night matchup about a month ago. The Steelers are very Jekyll and Hyde to me. This was still a game until late into the third. Then Flacco throws a back-breaking 73-yard pick six to Kyle Duggar. Patriots fans, I'm sure you remember Kyle Duggar.
Familiar name to you Pats fans.
Fondly. Yeah, most of the second half, Bengals field goal early third quarter had them to within 1 at 10-9, but the Steelers just poured it on after that. And most of that second half dominance, starting to smell. Most of the second half dominance came without Aaron Rodgers, who I guess got a little fracture in his left wrist, his non-throwing wrist. He missed the rest of this game, but he says he wants to play through it. Doesn't sound like the Aaron Rodgers I know, but hey, it's better for the league if he's playing through it. Nobody wants to see Mason Rudolph in that poop mustache again. Anyway, Flacco threw for 199, a touchdown and a pick for the Bengals. Chase Brown had 99 on the ground. T. Higgins, 3 catches for 63 yards and a touchdown. Jamar Chase just 3 for 30. He
We're not
spit
going to talk about Hot Tua?
Hawk Tua and spit on Jalen Ramsey, apparently. Jalen Ramsey, of course, would not the first person that Jalen Ramsey's pissed off, but maybe the first one that he's gotten to spit on him. So, conveniently for the Patriots, Jamar Chase is out in week 12 because he's suspended for a game. He already appealed and lost. So, there you go. Rodgers went 9 of 15 for 116 in a score. Rudolph went 12 of 16 for 127 in a score, but just proves that anybody can throw on the Bengals. 2 touchdowns through the air for Kenneth Gainwell. DK Metcalf continues to underwhelm. 5 catches for 49 yards. Do the Steelers win the North, or do the Ravens come back and take it from them?
It's a big mountain for them to climb, but
It's one game.
they're only back one game now.
Yeah, 6-4 and 5-5.
Oh, I thought they were 7-4.
Pittsburgh 6-4.
Oh, I thought they were 7-4.
6-4.
All right, then maybe the Ravens pull it out then.
I think so.
I don't know the Ravens' remaining schedule, but
It's okay. I got that.
all right.
Okay, I got that. Anyway, part of Pittsburgh's remaining schedule is that they will go to Chicago to take on the 7-3 Bears, which actually should be a good game. It'll probably be like 19-16 or something.
I was gonna say, that's gonna be an ugly game.
2.5-point dogs. And meanwhile, the Bengals, that's always pleasant to hear. I'll see if I can find that and edit it out later, but I doubt it. 7-point dogs against the 9-2 Patriots. But that line is probably going to move again if Joe Burrow practices in full today and is going to play on Sunday. That line will shrink even further. I still like the Pats -7. In fact, I already bet them -7. So we shall see. We shall see. Who knows, folks? Who knows? Yeah, there's the Ravens schedule. Okay, we can continue. All right. What I thought was going to be the best game of the 1 o'clock window, and it looked like it for a while, at least in the first half, is the last game of the 1 o'clock window, folks. And it's the Tampa Bay Bucks traveling to Buffalo to take on the Bills. Both teams came into this game 6-3. And
It was a very good game for a little bit.
It was 21-20 Buffalo at the half. Teams are going back and forth up the field. Allen made a couple of stupid mistakes in the first half, and you're thinking, all right, maybe Tampa can steal this one from Buffalo. As a Pats fan, that's what you want. Also, I like the Bucks. I like Baker. I don't know, whatever. I didn't used to like the Bucks, but then Brady went there, and whatever. I don't know. Doesn't matter. Josh Allen took over in the second half, though. I mean, he took this game over. I mean, it shows you why he is revered. And I think I see him rolling his eyes over there, but Josh Allen is revered for a reason. I mean, but the stupid mistakes that he used to make his first couple years in the league, that showed up early in this game. But the Josh Allen that we all know today showed up when it mattered in this game. Tampa Bay actually had the lead 32-31 with 13:38 to go on a Sean Tucker 28-yard touchdown catch. Sean Tucker, the supposed third-string running back for the Bucs, had 3 touchdowns on this day. He was available in fantasy. I could have picked him up. I didn't. I still went 5-1 last week, though. Yes, I have 6 fantasy teams. That's not even counting best ball. I have a life, I swear. Josh Allen in the fourth quarter goes 8 of 9 for 119 yards and 2 rushing touchdowns. Josh, how many touchdowns on the day did Josh Allen have?
Did he have 5? Nope.
He had 6. Josh Allen had 6 combined touchdowns of 317 yards and 3 touchdowns through the air, 2 picks as well. 6 carries for 40 yards and 3 rushing touchdowns. 3. Second time in Allen's career, he's actually done this before, and it was recent. Second time in his career,
last year, I think.
6 touchdowns in a game. He did it last December 8th against the Rams, which is hard to believe now because of how good the Rams defense is now, but they weren't as good last year. James Cook has come crashing back down to earth out of the backfield, but he did have 3 catches for 66 yards and a touchdown, just 16 carries for 48 yards on the ground ski. And a guy named Tyrell Shears busted out. As it's well documented that the Bills do not have a good receiving core. Dalton Kincaid was out in this game, the good tight end that they have there. Tyrell Shears, 4 catches for 90 yards and a touchdown for that guy. Good for him. Baker Mayfield, he only throws for 173, a touchdown and interception. He did run for a touchdown. Tucker, as I said, 106 on the ground, 2 touchdowns and another one through the air. Emeka Egbuka, 5 catches for 40 yards. Baker has slowed down, and Emeka Egbuka has slowed down, and so has the success for the Tampa Bay Bucks. Not having Evans, They haven't had Godwin all year, really. He only played in one game. Not having Evans, I think Ibuka is banged up. I think Baker might be banged up. Not having Bucky Irving hurts that offense a lot. Do we think the Bucks can recover because they look like one of the best teams in the league for the first 6 weeks of the season? But it's going the other way on them pretty quick.
Yeah. And I wonder if those first, 5, 6 weeks where they were winning by the skin of their teeth, right? They almost every game came down to Baker driving down the field and them scoring.
Oh yeah, he had like three. I think the first 3 weeks of the season, he had 3 game-winning drives in the fourth quarter. I think you're right.
Exactly. So, they
Yep.
were kind of living on the edge,
Good call.
and then you get some injuries and you get some guys that are missing, and then all of a sudden, now they're kind of balancing out, I guess you could say. Their defense looked really good for a while too, and now, especially, with Todd Bowles there. But now they seem to really, because now big loss to the Patriots 2 weeks ago,
Yep.
and then a big loss to Buffalo. Are they tied for first in that division, or are they in first?
The South, the NFC South,
What's their record now?
they're 6-4 now. By the way, but Buffalo
They're
is 7 and
essentially
3.
tied.
Yeah, they had their half game ahead of Carolina. Yeah.
Why do they have a win? Right, they're both 6-4, right?
No, Carolina's 6-5. They haven't had a bye yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Don't worry, I should be mentioning the records. So
No, I mean you might have. I didn't hear it.
I only mentioned that they came into the game. They were both 6-3. Yeah, so Buffalo 44-32. And the Bucks, yeah, they might be finding water, but you'd rather go through these things and maybe learn some things about your team and your depth. You'd rather do it during the season than,
In the playoffs,
middle of the season's the best time for this kind of stuff to happen. There's a chance that Evans comes back in the playoffs. I think Irving will be back sooner than later. I'm kind of hoping for this week, but I'm sort of doubting it. Anyway, Buffalo goes to Houston tonight. We have mentioned several times by now that they are 6-point favorites at the 5-5 Texans on Thursday night. Tampa Bay's road does not get any easier, and they will be 6.5-point dogs when they travel to take on the Rams on Sunday Night Football. So their lives are not going to get any easier. Speaking of those Rams, folks, we are going to talk next about them as we hit the 4 o'clock window. Rams against the Seattle Seahawks at home. Both teams come into this game at 7-2. Big game, probably the game of the week. And to me, this one was more about Seattle losing it than it was about the Rams winning it. I think that one's pretty obvious. I've alluded to it a couple times in the show already, Josh, but Sam Darnold poops his pants again in a big-time game. He's holding up the 4. And yet Seattle still had a chance to win this game at the end, despite all that.
That speaks volumes.
It does. It's that team's for real. The Seahawks are. They had to get
Until the playoffs.
probably until the playoffs where the same thing will happen again. But they still had a chance to win this game. They had to get in the field goal range, starting at their own 1-yard line. Of course, it's 21-19 Rams at this point. They had to get in the field goal range. The punt was down on the pylon at their own 1-yard line.
Maybe the best punt I've ever seen.
Yeah, it was crazy. Like, didn't it just like land there and stop?
It bounced in bounds at like the 1, and then went to the side and like literally just nudged up against the pylon out of bounds. It was the craziest punt I've ever seen.
Yeah, I've never seen that before. So yeah, they had to start at their own 1. They had 1:41 left and 1 timeout. They just had to get in the field goal range. And Darnold did manage to get them to the Rams' 43-yard line. But a 61-yard field goal try by Jason Myers was blocked. A lot of those kicks have been good this year. A lot of them, like an absurd amount of them. But it didn't happen this time. Kick gets blocked. The Rams escape 21-19. And when I say escape, this is what I mean. They only had the ball for 22 minutes and 11 seconds. They only had 249 yards of offense. Sam Darnold for the Seahawks, 29 out of 44, 279, 4 picks. The 4 interceptions are the most by a quarterback in any game this season. That is true. No one has thrown 5. No one else has even thrown 4. But Big D, Sam Darnold, has thrown 4 in a game. Stafford only threw for 130 and 2 touchdowns. Williams, 91 on the ground and a touchdown for him. Puka, 7 catches for 75 and a lost fumble. Devontae Adams, just 1 catch on 8 targets. Whoever they put on Devontae Adams shut his ass down. 1 catch, 1 yard, but it was a touchdown. Your boy Kenny Walker, 67 yards and a touchdown. JSN, 9 for 105. And AJ Barner had 10 catches for 70. Josh, who's the best team in the NFC West?
I want to say the Seahawks, but I don't have any faith in Sam Darnold in the playoffs. So I'm going to go with the Rams.
Yep, he's right. It's the Rams. Coach and quarterback have done it before. Um, yeah,
Because I think the Seahawks defense is better than the Rams.
I do
Their
too.
defense is legit.
Yeah, it is. It's good. Except the Rams turn them over 4 times, but that's okay. Is there a good chance that the Super Bowl winner can come out of the NFC West?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay, there's definitely a good chance. All right, that's on me. That wasn't that good of a question.
Well, I think the NFC West is the best division in football right now.
It's the bee's knees right now. You're gonna get 3 playoff teams out of that NFC West. I'm just saying. You might not even get that out of the AFC West. Chiefs fans.
They cooked.
Might be.
We'll get there though.
We're getting there. The Rams are going to be 6.5-point favorites against the 6-4 Bucks. Rams are 8-2. That'll be on Sunday Night Football. And again, Seattle 13.5-point favorites at the 1-9 Titans at 1:00 on Sunday. I can't remember the last time I saw a road team favored by that much, but there we are.
They weren't facing the worst team in a long time.
In a long time, that Titans team legitimately might finish 1-16. It might happen. It might happen. It's plausible. All right, this guy's wearing a bunch of 49ers swag. I won't spend too much time talking about this game. I'm going to let him go. But I do have one great question at the very end that you're going to like. But here we go. San Francisco in Arizona. Brock Purdy back for the first time since week 4. Looks pretty good to me. There he is. 41-22. San Francisco takes care of business easily. They improved to 7-4, and the Cardinals dropped to 3-7. Yeah. But... and this game was never in doubt for the 49ers, but something historical did happen in this game. As you know,
crazy.
Isn't that wild that it was that quarterback on that team?
Yeah.
Jacoby Brissett sets a new NFL record with 47 completions.
Who did he beat?
The record was previously held by Drew Bledsoe and Jared Goff, who both had 45 in a game. Yeah, I know. If it would have been cuter if it was just Bledsoe. I know that. Sure. I know that. Drew, we still love you, big dog. 47 for 57 for Jacoby Brissett. 452 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 2 picks. And Marvin Harrison Jr. didn't play in the game. No. It was Michael Wilson. 15 catches for 184 yards. They lost by 19 points.
Yeah. I mean, okay. McBride got the garbage time one, but
Bride got the garbage time.
He had an amazing game as well.
Tell me why you aren't satisfied with the outcome of this game.
Their defense is terrible. Their defense is absolutely terrible.
There it is. I knew it. I knew you wouldn't be happy. I just knew it.
Their defense stinks. And, if you really go through everything, the Cardinals had 17 penalties. 17. That is absurd. You had 17 penalties. I believe they had 3 turnovers, 2 or 3. They fumbled at the 1-yard line. Brissett had an interception. So right there, you have 2 fumbles right there. You have 17 penalties against the team.
Holy mother, 17
Oh, yeah. It's 17 penalties, dude. It's insane.
And 3 turnovers. You're right.
So, don't get me wrong. The offense looked great. And
very efficient.
I didn't want them to rush Purdy back. But obviously he looked great. That throw to Kittle he made was an absolute dime.
That was a really good throw.
And that was an out of an audible, which just shows you his ability compared to Mac Jones. So anyone who is like, oh, Mac Jones, you should be starting, you're an idiot. You're not a true Niners fan. You're an absolute dink. Because Mac Jones has a pea shooter. And Purdy, I don't care if Purdy throws a couple interceptions, because Purdy's interceptions are usually him trying to force the ball downfield, while Mac Jones are those 6-yard little under routes that get tipped, or it's just a bad throw. I don't want to see that. If he throws an interception 30 yards downfield, I'll live with it, because he's trying to force the ball downfield.
It's almost like a punt anyway.
Charlie, we don't want that. That's why you paid Brock Purdy money, because he can run this offense the way Shanahan envisions it. He can move better. He looked mobile. He threw 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. So the only thing I don't like is the defense, and I don't like that at the trade deadline you did nothing. You did nothing to make this team better, and you knew you had no Fred Warner, you had no Nick Bosa, and you had guys on the defense who were injured, and I think 8 of these guys are rookies or 1-year starters. You're not going to win in the playoffs. You're just not. You're going to face a team like the Rams, who absolutely shellacked you a week ago. Like, it's just, it's irritating. But you know what? I'm here for the ride. I'm here for it.
Well, at least they're not going to be a 5-win team like last year.
No.
Purdy threw for 200 yards, an efficient 19 out of 26, 3 touchdowns, run CMC, 81 yards on the ground, and 2 scores, 1 more through the air. And George Kittle, 6 catches for 67 and 2 scores. I thought it was a decent win for the Niners, but yeah, I knew you wouldn't be happy. Next up, they will host the Carolina Panthers on Monday Night Football. Carolina 6-5. Glad the microphone didn't pick up on that because that's really annoying. 7-point favorites are the 49ers. Your 49ers on Monday Night Football. Arizona will host the Jacksonville Jaguars. Apparently that line went from 2.5 to 3 in between the time that I took notes for both games because now it's 3.5 to 3. Arizona 3-point dogs at home against Jacksonville Sunday 4:05. We have got to move faster than this. Josh, Baltimore was at Cleveland and they stole it. And Cleveland gave it away. And it's their own damn fault. Baltimore 23, Cleveland 16. Baltimore started 1-5. They are now 5-5. Cleveland is 2-8. Shedeur Sanders was forced to Shedeur Sanders is how you pronounce it, I believe. He was forced to enter the game after Dylan Gabriel literally headbutted a guy and got himself concussed. So that's a very aware play by that guy. And I don't think we learned this until after the game, but somehow Shedeur Sanders has never played a rep in practice with the starting unit for the Cleveland Browns or the Cleveland Browns, and you didn't give this kid 1 rep? Are you out of your mind?
Don't get me wrong. You and I both know how football works. Obviously, you know, the backup quarterback isn't taking a bunch of reps with the first team.
No, but he's supposed to take like 10 to 25%, especially when the other kid in front of him's a rookie.
Yeah, exactly.
What are you doing?
So, like, I'm not talking about a 50-50 split, but 80-20, 90-10. Like, the fact that these offensive linemen said, we've never heard his cadence, that's absurd.
That's not professional football.
That is absurd. If you're Kevin Stefanski, you're not thinking, like, something might happen? Like, he could get injured?
Should have been fired after the game. They should have fired his ass.
That is absurd.
I've never heard anything like that.
No.
Ever. You think that happened in 2001 when Brady took the field? Sorry.
No.
But there's no way that happened. There's no way, you know?
Well, I know you won't be a huge fan of it, but Rex Ryan was saying the same thing on Get Up. He was like, I've never heard a situation where a backup quarterback, where his offensive linemen have never heard his cadence. He's like he's not working the scout team. He's not working with any of these guys.
They obviously hate him, right? And now they have no choice. He is starting this week against the Raiders. And
if he does well,
he's going to do well. He's going to do well. I'm putting money on the Browns winning that game. They're 4-point dogs. But anyway, let's talk about last week's game. It was 16-10 Cleveland through 3 quarters, despite the fact that Sanders could do nothing. And it wasn't even really his fault, product of the situation. He did throw a brutal interception in the 3rd quarter, but Lamar Jackson threw it right back to Cleveland on the very next play.
Throw it right back. It was tipped.
Whatever. I only looked at I didn't, you know, my recollection on Sundays is a little foggy for a number of reasons.
Yeah, I was it Justice Hill? It might have been Justice. I don't know who it went right off.
Yeah, no, you're right. I remember. I can see it again. I can see it in my head again.
It went right off.
Justice Hill, just like this, doink.
Yeah, it was so bad. It was really bad.
Okay. That's why you're a 3rd string running back. Or no, was it Keaton Mitchell? It was Keaton Mitchell.
Yes.
Keaton Mitchell. Yeah. That's why you're a 3rd string running back. But man, they stole this one in the end, man. I'll tell you what, I don't have the synopsis. Whatever. Baltimore beats Cleveland 23-16. I'm spending too much time on this game. Lamar in the books had 2 interceptions. Derrick Henry had 103 yards and a touchdown. Mark Andrews, I think, broke the all-time record for the Ravens for receptions in this game, I believe. He also had a 35-yard touchdown run on a fake tush push.
That was probably one of the best play calls ever.
That was cool as shit. There's your swear quota. We're done for the day. That was really, really cool. And you could kind of see it coming too. Like you could tell the defense was off guard. But like watching it in real time, I'm like, I think he's going to bounce this outside. Like, and you never see that happen, but he did. And like, who knew that the guy had jets like that? He outran
He was running.
He outran everybody, the big boy. So I hate the Ravens, but I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, it was a hell of a play.
This poor kid, and it's hard to feel bad for the son of Deion Sanders, who's had everything handed to him in life and has the attitude that the kid has. But this wasn't really fair to him. 4 for 16 for 47 yards and in an interception. That will not happen again this week. Baltimore 5-5. They will be 13.5-point favorites against the 2-8 Jets at home on Sunday at 1 o'clock. Cleveland 4-point dogs at the Raiders. 4-point dogs at the Raiders. Ye of little faith. Vegas at 4:05 on Sunday in Vegas. All right, just 3 to go here in Week 11. I've spent more time on this than I wanted to. Josh Morris is on the show. Thank you once again for being on the show, as he is very frequently. I can't even say every other week because there was a 2-week in a row thing there, and like I might bring him on next week too. Like I don't know, maybe I won't. I think we're gonna do a quick one before Thanksgiving, folks, because Wednesday night before Thanksgiving, that's a big party night. At least it is for single people and irresponsible people like me that don't have children or like any responsibilities really. So like I'll be doing something that night. So I might give you a little condensed soup episode. But you'll still get the very best of the Terranadome.
Absolutely.
Sure you will. I appreciate the blind faith, Josh. I do. Kansas City travels to Denver, and they were 3.5-point favorites, I believe, coming into this game. I was all over that.
I was going to say, you picked Denver last week.
I was all over that. I said that line looks backwards. In Denver, this was a nip and tuck defensive battle, as one would expect up in Mile High. And we would also have come to find out that the Chiefs' offense isn't that good. So you combine those two things. It was still a 19-19 game with 4:10 to go after Denver tied it up. The Chiefs were winning this game late in the fourth quarter. But uncharted waters for Mahomes as Kansas City falls to 5-5. Denver 22-19. They are 9-2. Game was tied 13-13 going into the fourth. Tied at 19 by a Denver field goal with 4:10 to go. Kansas City goes 3 and out after that. They don't even run a minute of clock. In Denver, from their own 26, they had 3 minutes to work with. Bo Nix has done this a bunch of times this year. 3 minutes is more than enough time. Drove the field. Will Lutz field goal. As time expired, wins them the game 22-19. Mahomes goes 29 out of 45 for 276, touchdown and interception. Kareem Hunt is still their lead back. Like Kansas City, wake the F up. You don't have enough help around. Mahomes has got guys to throw to, but when you're one-dimensional, it still doesn't matter. Hunt, 13 carries for 59 yards and a score. Travis Kelce got some of Taylor Swift's Warlock blood because he's having a resurgent season. 9 catches for, I'm not even sure I can say that. 9 catches, 91 yards and a touchdown. Rashee Rice, 6 catches for 38. And Xavier Worthy, just 3 catches for 25. On the other side, Bo Nix goes 24 out of 37 for 295 yards. Josh, is Kansas City going to miss the playoffs here? 5-5. Let me give you the schedule. We didn't even talk about Baltimore's remaining schedule, by the way. We're not going to go back now. We'll do it later. Kansas City, are they going to miss the playoffs? Hear me out. They have the Colts at home, at Dallas, Houston and the Chargers at home, at Tennessee, Denver at home, at the Raiders. I know that's a lot. I just threw 7 teams at you. There are definitely wins in here.
Even 4-3 gets you 9-8.
Right. And I think that this is very much looks like a 5-2, 4-3 kind of thing to me.
Yeah.
And they're not that good.
No, they're not. Now, granted, I was going to ask you what you thought about the Broncos because again, I'm.
Oh yeah, I was going to ask you that too. Is Denver a legitimate Super Bowl contender or not?
I don't think so. I think their defense is pretty good, but Bo Nix is another one of those quarterbacks that just I don't know what to expect from him.
But he's got that thing though. He's got that thing in him.
I will say the guy's
got that gene.
You know, when they need him, he'll somehow pull it out, like he did against the Texans, right? Like he was crap, and then they end up winning that game. But can you live like that? Can you live like that as a quarterback?
Yes.
Yeah, you think? I
think they're a legitimate Super Bowl contender. I do. I really do. Yeah. I honestly do. I've seen a well-coached Denver team with maybe a deficiency at quarterback, much bigger deficiency than Bo Nix, mind you, win a Super Bowl 10 years ago with a nasty defense.
I don't think the defense that nasty.
Well, no, because that was a historically great defense. And
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Broncos team, but this is a very good defense.
Yes, I would agree.
Even though they let up 32 to the Giants, but that's when they had Cam Scatterboo, so it's okay.
I mean, I was so like I was at my grandparents' house this Sunday because they were celebrating their 65th anniversary, Nan and Papa.
Congratulations. That's a beautiful
That's-
thing. What an accomplishment.
Yeah, absolutely. So we were there, and I was talking to my cousin Mike, and I was, he was like, "Oh, Patrick Mahomes is going to drop 30 today," and I was like, I don't know, Mike. I was like, I think Denver's defense is pretty good. Like, I don't. I was like, I think you're kind of, I think you're sleeping on them, and I think a lot of people are because you just don't see a lot of Denver. But their offense seems to be anemic at points. So that, I mean, is their defense good enough to carry them that far? I guess would be what you think they can.
I guess I do.
But then I also think in the AFC, who's going to beat them?
I mean, I mean, the three best records in the AFC are Denver, New England, and Indianapolis. Can New England or Indianapolis? Well, Indianapolis already beat Denver.
Sorry, did, yeah.
But they had a lot of help.
Yes.
On a field goal call at the end of that game. They shouldn't have beaten Indiana.
Leverage.
They shouldn't have won that game.
Leverage.
Yeah, leverage my ass. I think you have to say that they are a contender. I'm not saying they're a championship team, but can they get there in this version of the AFC?
I was going to say, for that reason, I would agree with you.
All right, well, fair. Well, look, you came around to my side of the fence. That's perfect. Denver's on the bye next week, and Kansas City's life does not get easier. They are 3.5-point favorites. 3.5? I thought I saw 5.5. No, it's 5.5. They're 5.5-point favorites. No, it's at home against the Colts. Colts are coming off the bye week, though. So that feels like a smash spot for betting to me, but we'll get to that very shortly. That's just how I feel. We've got a boring turd burger of a primetime game here on Sunday Night Football, Josh, so we're not going to spend much time on this. What a crap bag joke this was. Philadelphia 16, Detroit 9.
I think I shut it off at half. Like
I did too.
I looked at my wife and I was like, I'm going to bed.
I have to go to work tomorrow. This is not worth staying up for. Good night. Philadelphia does go to 8-2. That is one of the least impressive 8-2s I can remember. Similar to the
so elite though.
Similar to the 2019 Patriots, yes, defense is very good. It kind of looks like a Denver thing. On the other side, it does. Detroit falls to 6-4. Boring turd burger. I wanted to say it twice. The quarterbacks in this game combined to go 28 of 65 passing.
That's great quarterback play right there.
That is beautiful. The teams were combined 7 for 28 on third downs.
25% for you math nerds.
Yeah, it's 1 out of every 4. That's pretty damn good. To me, it doesn't feel like either of these teams are Super Bowl contenders. And again, the NFC is loaded, whereas I made the argument for the Broncos a minute ago. AFC, a little more wide open. NFC, kind of loaded up at the top. I don't see this Philly. If Philly has to outscore somebody, they're not going to be able to do it.
Well, think about it. It took 2 field goal blocks for them to beat the Rams.
Yes. Yeah, which is that doesn't happen twice in one game.
No.
It just doesn't. So... So I mean, Goff threw for 255. Gibbs had 5 catches for 107. Williams had a 40-yard touchdown reception. Hurts had a tush-push touchdown and 135 yards passing. Very impressive.
Giant false start.
In a giant false start.
I mean, you need to ban the play at this point because you can't officiate it, or you just choose not to.
I know. Well, now the thing is, the other teams are starting to figure out how to run it, and they're using a tight end to run it, which is smart. The Jets, I think, tried to do it against the Patriots on Thursday night. They used Mason Taylor. I mean, if you're going to run it, that's a smart way to do it. Don't put your quarterback in harm's way, right? They should ban the play. It's a rugby play, okay? Just get rid of the damn thing, but they probably won't. Philly is going to Dallas on Sunday at 4:25. So the Dallas Cowboys will host two games in a row in a 4-day span, as we know, because they will host Philly in week 12. Philly 3.5-point favorites only in Dallas. I find that interesting.
That's crazy.
It is. It's a very interesting line. Detroit 10.5-point favorites against the Giants on Sunday at 1:00.
That makes sense.
That one makes sense. Detroit should be pissed off. They should be, but another team, I can't figure them out this year. Here's a team that I can figure out this year, and this is the last game of Week 11, thankfully, folks. It's Monday Night Football, Actually, there are two teams that I can definitely figure out this year. The Dallas Cowgirls travel to take on the Las Vegas Raiders. And Dallas, as expected, goes in there and beats them up. 33-16. Dallas, they're now 4-5-1. While Vegas falls to 2-8. It was over at halftime because Dallas was already ahead 24-9. Get this, and you this won't surprise you at all. Dallas is 4-1 against teams with losing records, and they're 0-4-1 against teams with winning records.
Makes sense.
It's perfect. It's just a nice, neat little bow. I love when things work out.
Well, it makes sense because their defense is terrible.
It's awful.
Even though I will say, Quinnen Williams instantly made a difference. He got a sack like in their first or second defensive possession.
Well, at least and I didn't mean to cut you off, but at least they acknowledged the fact that their defense sucked and they went and did something about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
A lot of other teams didn't. So screw it. Screw them picks. By the way, the Raiders are 2-8 and they have more wins.
Someone on this show say the Raiders were going to be like a good team this year?
Could have been me. Did I say sneaky good? Maybe like 7-8 wins. Did I say something like that? I feel like I did. And I was looking good after 1 week, but anyway, I wasn't pointing that out. The stat is the Raiders are 2-8. They have more wins against teams above 500 than the Dallas Cowboys do. Technically.
Oh, because they beat the Patriots.
They beat the Patriots in week 1. It's a nice, neat little bow. Dak Prescott, 25 out of 33, 268 and 4 touchdowns, 22 carries, 93 yards for Javonte Williams. George Pickens, is he better than CeeDee Lamb, or is he getting less attention? 9 catches, 144 yards and a touchdown. CeeDee Lamb just 5 catches for 66 yards and a touchdown. I didn't really mean that, but
I think it's the thought.
It's something it's something to think about, right?
Gino's been great. He's been elite.
Yeah, ever since Lamb got hurt, it took a while for him and Prescott to get it going. But when Lamb got hurt, then he's taken off since then.
And it makes you wonder, like, I haven't really done like an all 22, but like, is Pickens a better route runner? Because he's great after the catch.
Yeah, but if you notice, he's also an exceptional route runner, and he goes up and gets the ball. He's truly one of the best receivers in the league, and it doesn't get talked about. I'm
saying in comparison, where CD, I feel like gets a lot of his catches downfield, or not big route concepts, more like sticks and curls, and it's like catch, I'm down, or I caught a 30-yard pass, I'm down. Where I feel like Pickens, anytime he catches the ball, he could take it to the house.
I think that's a pretty good analysis there. I would have a hard time arguing with that. Yeah, I mean, having the two of them in the same offense, Dallas, and if Dallas just had a competent defense, they should be without a doubt a playoff team. But right now they're not. By the way, Ashton Jeanty, the rookie running back that was taken high in the first round for the Raiders, he had 6 carries for 7 yards. So there you go. Anyway, Dallas will host Philly again. We already mentioned they are 3.5-point dogs Sunday at 4:25. The 8-2 the 8-2 Eagles against the 4-5-1 Cowgirls, and the Raiders are 4-point favorites against the Cleveland Browns. That we're going to talk about that in a minute because we are doing full sets of picks for Week 12, folks. That is Week 11. We have made it. We have made it through the slog of Week 11. It still took longer than I intended for it to take, but we got there, folks.
First time.
It's the Terranadome, but if we're having a back and forth, we're going to have a back and forth. It's not a show if I just rattle. I almost swore for a third time. If I just rattle stuff off. So, Week 12. We're going to kind of move through this quick, all right? But Week 12, we're picking all the games in Week 12. First up is Thursday Night Football. Josh, Buffalo, 6-point favorites at Houston. I've got the Buffalo Bills in this one. What say you?
I thought you were going to take the Texans. No, I'm taking the Bills.
Covering, right? We're doing this on the spread.
We're doing spreads.
Okay, we're doing spreads. New England, 7-point favorites at Cincinnati. Joe Burrow might play.
I don't care if Joe Burrow plays. That defense stinks.
Okay, so New England, then okay,
yes, absolutely.
All right,
minus 20.
By 20, yeah, I don't see that.
I could see at least 2 touchdowns.
That's interesting. People are really starting to buy in on the Patriots now, folks. Can you believe it? It's been a long time.
Cincinnati.
Well, that's a good way to go about it, too. Pittsburgh Steelers are 2.5-point dogs at Chicago.
Oof, we don't know about Rodgers yet, right?
Roger says he's playing. Otherwise, they'd be bigger dogs, don't you think?
I don't
Two
know.
and a half point dogs
And they're in.
in Chicago.
I'm gonna go with Chicago.
I'm going to go with Pittsburgh. He says Chicago. I am going to take Pittsburgh for the upset, and maybe even though I don't like them and I don't really think they're for real, I'm thinking that Chicago's due for a loss. All right. Minnesota is 6.5 point dogs in Green Bay.
Green Bay.
Green Bay +6 at Green Bay. He says Green Bay. I'm going to say for some stupid reason, I think Minnesota covers because the Packers.
He's terrible.
He's terrible, but the Packers are kind of like a complete joke this year sometimes. But like,
Yeah, so they just threw up a stinker. They're due. Well, no, they didn't throw.
No, they won. They scored 27 points.
They won off the stinker. They threw up the stinker against Philly. Oh, now I might.
It's gonna be a weird. It's gonna be a weird game. You have 10 seconds to change your pick.
I'm sticking with my gut. I'm sticking with my gut.
Smart move. Atlanta 2-point dogs at New Orleans.
Dude, Kirky's going nuts. I'm going with Atlanta.
I am absolutely in agreement for some reason, even though there will be no Drake London. Go get Darnell Mooney in your fantasy leagues if you still can.
Are you kidding me, dude? Every time Cousins has played, his best receiver has been out.
Yes. Well, they're still going to win in New Orleans on Sunday. Indianapolis 5.5 point dogs in Arrowhead.
No, that's ridiculous. No, I'm going with Indianapolis.
Indianapolis to cover. I happen to agree with him on that one. Indianapolis covers in Kansas City.
They're 8-2.
8-2.
How are they 5.5 point dogs?
Something's weird about that. Okay, 3 giant spreads in a row. You ready?
I'm ready.
Seattle 13.5 point favorites.
I already told you. I'm hammering that. Give me Seattle.
He's going Seattle. I say Tennessee covers the 13.5.
Warren might not throw for more than 50 yards.
I've lost my mind. Okay. Jets are 13.5 point dogs at Baltimore.
See, that one I don't know. I'm going with New York.
See? I've got NYJ covers as well. Okay. Last big spread of the week. Giants 10.5 point dogs at Detroit.
No, they get killed. I'm going with Detroit.
I am also going with Detroit as well. See, this is rapid fire. This is what the people want. Quick. We don't do any analysis. Let's just pick them blind. Yeah, well, you know what? If we had time, we would. But you know what? We don't.
I mean, I feel like sometimes you do the analysis and you talk yourself right out of bets.
Yeah, that's true. That could be good and that could be bad. Cleveland 4-point dogs at Vegas.
I would say Cleveland money line.
Cleveland money line. I am with you on that as well.
Raiders are terrible, man. And I will say, prop bet, give me Myles Garrett for 2 sacks.
Sure, I'll take Myles Garrett for 2 sacks. No problem. And yeah.
I mean, is he defensive player of the year?
Probably, yeah.
I mean, he is otherworldly right
15 sacks already.
Yeah, he is otherworldly. And that Raiders team stinks, and their offensive line stinks.
Shedeur Sanders proves everybody wrong and wins his first career start. Book it.
You do her.
Shedeur Sanders. He's going to win on Sunday.
I agree.
Take it to the bank. Jacksonville 3-point favorites at Arizona.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's go with Jacksonville.
Arizona is going to win that game. But he says Jacksonville. Jacksonville's the logical play.
Yeah.
You know what? Jacoby Brissett's on fire, baby.
Yeah.
Give me Arizona. Okay. I know you want to say more, but I'm not going to let you. Philly, 3.5 point favorites at Dallas.
Yeah, absolutely. Go with Philly. I don't care how bad their offense is. That defense stinks.
That defense stinks. He's right. Philly covers on Sunday, 3.5 points. Tampa Bay, 6.5 point dogs at the Rams on Sunday Night Football.
I'm going with the Rams. The Rams are playing some inspired football right now.
You know what?
We didn't talk about it, but I think should be the clear front runner for MVP, Matthew Stafford. His numbers, what's it, like 27 picks to
27 touchdowns to 2 picks. That's correct.
Yeah, it's otherworldly right now. The guy is he's killing it. He deserves it.
You know, my people up here in New England, there's an argument to be made for Drake May, but I think you're right. I think you're right. Stafford right now is the MVP front runner. He should win one. He's had a good career. I know he only just got to above 500, but if you look at some of the numbers he's put up over his career, it's
Yeah,
fine if he gets a
wasn't playing
lifetime
in an era
achievement.
with Breeze, Brady, and Manning. He might have won one.
Probably. I'm fine with a lifetime achievement MVP. You can let him have it this year because Allen and Mahomes haven't played well enough to deserve it. Jackson's been out. Burrow's been out. Um, the best two quarterbacks in the league have been Stafford and Drake May right
I
now.
agree.
That's the truth. That's the
And
truth.
honestly, you mentioned it last week. Taylor should be getting some votes as well.
He should be, but we always make the same argument, which is that he should get votes, but he will never win. A running back will never win that award again because if Saquon Barkley can run for over 2,000 yards and not win it, then nobody's winning it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which sucks because I would be fine with the MVP not being a quarterback one of these years, but that's just me. I've got Tampa Bay covering the 6.5. I'm maybe ball washing Tampa Bay a little bit too much. The Rams are that good, but I'll take it. Carolina, Josh, the 49ers host Carolina on Monday Night Football. To close out the show, the 49ers are 7-point favorites.
It'll be a bloodbath.
A bloodbath, okay, but that's not a pick.
With
Okay.
BCB at the helm, baby. We're dropping at least 30.
We're dropping a lead. I do believe that you will drop 30 against the 13th ranked defense in football, but yes. Give me the 49ers by I'm going to say that's a spot where Carolina no shows. They've been very up and down, and it feels to me, I mean, 2 of their 6 wins did come against the Falcons. So give me San Francisco to cover as well. I believe we are only disagreeing on 1,
I think 2.
2, 3,
3 because the
4.
Rams.
4.
Oh, 4.
4. Jacksonville and Arizona, remember. So we are in agreement on 11 out of the 15. So we will see how that plays out in week 13, folks. And what I'm going to do is the weeks that you're not on, I'm still going to get your picks from you, and I'm going to tell the people who you picked.
I like that. I like it.
Yeah, that way we can keep this long train running. You know what I'm saying?
So,
folks, we managed to do it in under an hour and a half, which I guess is progress. But it's the Terranadome. Anything else you want to bring up here?
Yes. One little thing.
Go ahead.
I know Jonathan Taylor has had an amazing year.
He has.
But Offensive Player of the Year, sneaky CMC. Just look out for it. I think he has like 700 and 700 or 600 and 600 right now. He's having a really good year. I think he has like he might have 100 receptions this year at the end of the year. So just watch out for him. You know, for you bettors out there, you might be able to get some money for that.
You're right. 707 yards on the ground and 74 catches for 732 yards through the air. That is impressive.
So 1,400 scrimmage yards. You know what I mean? And how many touchdowns do you have? Like 6, 7?
He has 6 rushing and 5 receiving.
So 11 touchdowns. Like,
not bad.
He can sneak in there. So
he does lead the league in yards from scrimmage and the most amount of touches. He has done that 2 other times in his career.
One of them was in 2023, and he won Offensive Player of the Year. And I think the other was 2019. And he might have won Offensive Player of the Year that year.
He finished 3rd in Offensive Player of the Year in 2019. He did win it in 2023.
2023 went to the Super Bowl. I know that one.
Michael Thomas of the New Orleans Saints in 2019. He's been out of the league a long time. Michael Thomas.
Pretty much after that year, he got injured and never came back.
Never came back. 149 catches for 1,725 yards and 9 touchdowns. It still should have been McCaffrey, who had 1,387 yards and 15 rushing touchdowns, and he had 116 catches out of the backfield for another 1,000 yards, and somehow didn't win.
And he came in 3rd.
He came in 3rd because Lamar Jackson was ahead of him. Lamar won the MVP that year too. For some reason, he needed both, I guess. Folks, that is it for us this week. It's the Terranadome. I'll do some special Thanksgiving shout out crap next week because I'm going to do the show on Wednesday next week, as much as it's going to pay me to do that. Wednesday's show next week. I am not putting out a show on Thanksgiving. Nobody will listen to it, and I don't blame you. So, obviously I'll talk to you, my friend. But have a happy Thanksgiving and everything. To your family, to your lovely wife and your beautiful daughters and your mother and father, your sister, and everybody in there. Please send along my best. Thank your dad for coming to look at this crap on the ceiling there that they bungled. But anyway, that's really not content for the show, folks. Tell somebody you love them today because tomorrow is not promised, and we will be back next Wednesday on the Terranadome. Thanks to everyone who listens, critiques, and supports. It's all appreciated. And please tell a friend, hit that like, subscribe button. I can't believe that I'm saying that at this point in my life, but I am. And we will be back next week on the Terranadome. Everybody have a safe, enjoyable, fun weekend. I am on vacation, so that is dope. And I will not go back to work until December. See you later, folks. Tell somebody you love them today because tomorrow is not promised. And Josh, I will see you later.
Peace.
Say his name and he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry. I believe in Joe Hendry. Cause they love him in London and Paris and Tokyo, America, Scotland and Canada and Mexico. They say I believe in Joe Hendry. I believe in Joe Hendry.